Welcome back to the ASUS ROG Season 3 Dream League. I'm ODPixel. This here is my brother, my brethren, Draskell, and we're ready to go into Game 2 of Team Tinkerino versus Scaryfacez. So let's get ourselves into the draft. And Draskell, what are we seeing?
All right, so Team Tinker get their first pick in the second game, and they first pick Queen. Quake had a pretty good performance on the hero last game. Decent, you know, decent. So they're going to get their hands on that. Scaryfacez follow it up with the Treant Protector Shadow Fiend, in which Team Tinker respond into buying a Chen. So a couple of things about the Chen versus the Treant. Oftentimes, the Treant is seen as good against the gank because you can living armor the hero who's getting ganked, and then you potentially live through that gank. But it's bad against 5-man push because your armor gets eaten too fast and it's not as effective on the towers. So it's two different ways that you have to think of it. If Team Tinker plan on going very aggressive like they did last game and winning in 13 minutes because their lane advantage was just monstrous, then the Chen pick will be really solid. And I feel after that first game, to me, the more I think about it, even like no matter how Scaryfacez landed, it still would have been really hard for them to win. Yes. Right? So in that way, you can also say that it was just an outdraft. And if Team Tinker come into the second game feeling confident, then all they have to do is pick something that will crush early and they can just snowball twice in a row, which I feel against what Scaryfacez did last game, it's got to be demoralizing to lose like that, like to not even be able to have a chance.
I mean, it absolutely is. As we see, obviously, they've got the Shadow Fiend, the hero that Black was very proficient on in the first game. Let's see if Scaryfacez can do a little bit of that themselves. I mean, with the Chen picked up, Night Stalker is still in the pool, but do you not really pick Night Stalker and Chen in the same game? Is that a little bit too greedy if you are going to have the NS support and the Chen juggler in your
It depends on what the laning phase is going to look like. Scaryfacez right now, they have Skywrath and Tree, which we're going to guess are their dual support combination, and then you have potentially a Shadow Fiend mid. So we haven't seen the offlaner. We don't know what safe lane carry Team Tinker are going to pick for Black here, because if he's not playing Shadow Fiend, then he's not going to be going mid. Okay. Most likely. So if that's the case, if you want to have a situation where you have a safe lane hero who's self-proficient enough to be able to not have to worry about the Night Stalker being there to help him, and the Night Stalker can kind of roam around with the Chen, then I do think it's entirely plausible that they could run that support Night Stalker twice in a row. But again, it depends on the 1-versus-1 matchup of the safe laner versus the off lane, because if you already have a Chen, that means that Wei2 is going to be off in the woods doing his own thing, you know, or trying to make ganks happen. If you pick a support that can't help in his lane, and the safe lane farmer is also not a good matchup versus the off laner, then it's not a good situation. So you have to be sure of what's going to be coming at you before you decide, hey, I'm going to pick NS and just go with the Chen. Okay,
so the third pick there for Team Tinkerino, they're going to go with the Shadow Demon. I mean, what's your views on this hero?
LGD Int, circa 2013, right? 2013 or 14, I can't remember. It's been a long time. They used to run this combo pretty frequently. The Shadow Demon just sets up with the Disruption into Soul Catcher, and the Chen creeps get in range, and then you just kill whoever you gank. And the early rotations are normally just 100% kill if the Disruption goes off, if you have the right creeps. Like a Troll, a Centaur, even an Ursa, with the amount of damage that you can do with the extra 20% from a level 1 Soul Catcher, it is pretty darn terrifying. So we will see how Scaryfacez react to this, as right now they still need an offlaner and a safe lane carry.
Okay, I mean, so with the Chen and Shadow Demon combo, this is a pretty scary game for the SF mid.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying. The tree is going to have to camp him, more or less. Like, you could do it with the Skywrath too, but the Skywrath has less impact, I think, in trying to stop a gank, whereas a Leech Seed can actually keep you alive if you're the Shadow Fiend. Like the Skywrath doesn't have a real hard peel mechanism. It's just Concussive Blast, or Bolt, or whatever it's called. And that's a marginal slow at best, which isn't gonna save him. So it doesn't even hit creeps. So if you like Leech Seed a creep and you walk away from the Disruption, that will save you a lot more than a Skywrath just doing like one nuke onto somebody, you know? But yeah, the Shadow Fiend's gonna struggle if he gets rotated on.
Okay, so indeed, as you're saying, with this fourth pick now, hopefully we'll either see that safe lane farmer or their off lane hero, if we are going to assume it is going to be the mid lane Shadow Fiend for the side of Scaryfacez. Is there anyone that kind of, you know, speaks out to you as you need to pick that hurt person up against what Team Tinkerino are picking against you?
Not really.
There's options.
If I'm looking at their lineup right now, I'm thinking that we want something that has Disable that can fight early. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because last game we lost in 13 minutes. This game, we want something that can help, and Centaur is definitely a step in the right direction when it comes to that. So a hero who can just disengage whenever you feel like the fight's going poorly for you, and can also give you some nice initiation, which up until this point, Scaryfacez didn't have. So it's a nice supplement to the draft so far. And Team Tinker, oh god, the PL Shadow Demon, how did I not see that one coming? So this is moderately to completely terrifying right now for Scaryfacez to go late game into what they have, because PL does so much work against their heroes. Like, you can doppelganger out of Treant ulti, you can dodge nukes, you can just get a Manta and Diffusal to spell all the silences that they have. And besides the Centaur, they don't have a stun, right? So I think it's called Entangle is how it works. Like the mechanic of like Bear Root, Searing Chains, and Overgrowth, they all have the same mechanic, right? So it's like you can't phase shift and stuff, but you can still use other abilities.
So you can doppelganger out.
Yeah, so you can like dispel yourself, I think. I actually haven't played Phantom Lancer versus Tree before, so maybe you actually can't. Have to host a practice lobby between matches just to double check, but I think you can. Because it removes everything else, so I'm like, why wouldn't it remove that? But we'll see. All right, so Batrider taken out from Scaryfacez, and Team Tinker are also working on their last ban. I will say that Scaryfacez's draft to me feels a lot better than the first game, because even though I thought they might be able to do something, I was still skeptical of their laning because it looked so weak in terms of damage and control, and they had a safe lane farming melee hero. Whereas they saved their core pick until last this time. The Shadow Fiend's going to be mid. If it's against Queen, I would still favor Qualifier, but you also have Tree and Armor, and you have potentially a rotating Skywrath, so we will see what the last hero pick.
They ban out Anti-Mage, which I guess pretty nice. Any game when you got a Skywrath Mage, there's always, oh no, sorry, well, Skywrath Mage is on the side, but I guess the PL, Anti-Mage is someone once with the Battle Fury, can kind of fight up against the PL and clear away the army.
It's not about the fighting. It's about the fact that you can't kill him. Like, look at their heroes.
Okay, yeah.
They can't kill the AM, and the AM will just rat you the entire time.
Okay.
Chen is useless against it during the late game. Shadow Demon is okay, but only in a situation that you're fighting, in which case the AM doesn't want to fight. He just wants to rat the entire time, and Queen also will probably not be able to do much to him. And they're actually going to go with a Shaker. Okay. So it's going to be probably farm priority Shaker, I guess, or Centaur.
Is it carry Shaker? Are we seeing carry Shaker, or do you think it's going to be a core Skywrath?
I think carry Shaker is better.
Yeah.
Because carry Shaker actually does a lot of work against PL.
Okay.
And during early game, they kind of wanted another disable. And the cool thing about Shaker is that he's an immediate stun, okay? So you blink and echo.
Yes.
And you catch the PL. That's the most important thing, is having some catch. Yeah. And not only that, but you also have Centaur ulti to follow it. And you have Fissure, which, so you blink and you echo. You Fissure the Shadow Demon, so he can't disrupt. Like, that's the play that you do in a fight to make sure that the PL is completely caught out. All right, Team Tinker, they go with the Nyx. I actually like this pick a lot. Okay,
so I guess the Nyx, up against the Skywrath at least, it's not going to be a pretty game for him, someone with high intel. I mean, other than that, why are you picking up the Nyx in this
So what hero on Scaryfacez buys BKB? Shadow Fiend. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that
doesn't really want to, but
it's the only hero who buys it. He's great against the stat meta too, like you said, for the reason why people buy Scotties. So your mana burn does, it's 5 times intelligence multiplier, I think, or something like that once it's level 4, and it's a 4-second cooldown. 4 seconds.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay? And on top of that, you have Spike Carapace to stop the Earthshaker like combo. If you get caught and you get even a millisecond to pop a Carapace, his combo is broken. You get Carapace for 2.5 seconds, you can't do anything, which is awesome. And same thing can be said for Requiem. If the Shadow Fiend doesn't get BKB, you Carapace, but you can't stand on top of him because it's multiple instances of damage. You just stand a little bit farther away, the Requiem stuns him. You can walk into Skywrath ulti and stun the Skywrath. You can just do a whole bunch of random annoying things with the Nyx against what Scaryfacez have. And he's one of my favorite heroes, so I'm happy to see him.
Okay, so I guess it will be the solo lane Nyx then, and then obviously the PL with the SD, Chen in the jungle, and the final pick, which of course was Queen of Pain, which we're going to expect to be seeing in the mid lane. I mean, obviously Queen of Pain was in the solo lane before. Is there any possibility they might send the Nyx mid and put the Queen of Pain in the side lane? Or do you think it's better to just have
I think the Queen Shadow
mid?
Fiend matchup is way more favorable. Because not only can Nyx be ganked by what Scaryfacez have, but the Queen just beats Shadow Fiend if played well. And let's be honest, Quakefa plays a pretty phenomenal Queen, so I would imagine it's probably just going to be him taking up middle lane. They'll protect the PL as much as they can. During the mid game, I would say that it's relatively even. It just depends pretty heavily on, I think, what the Chen can accomplish for the first like 10 to 15 minutes. Like, what is his game plan? Is he just going to try to get the offlane tower down so that the Shadow Demon and him can rotate freely and then just try to cause pressure? I feel like that's more or less the go-to plan here from Team Tinker. They can just as easily go mid too. Like, they can try to gank the SF The biggest issue is going to be if the tree gets enough levels, he'll end up getting that tree or living armor up, and it can be very hard to kill into high-level living armor at an early stage.
Okay, indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second game of this first best-of-3 series of the day between Team Tinker and Scaryfacez. I'm ODPixel. I'm here joined by Draskell here on the ASUS ROG Season 3 DreamLeague. So, for this matchup on the Radiant, we're going to be having Shadowwear on the support tree, and it is going to be Ramses 666 on the Earthshaker, and it is going to be that core ES. It's going to be State 21 on the mid lane on the Shadow Fiend, and down on your bottom lane, we have got Scaryfacez being played by Weppers. Can we shift it to the left, my son? There we go, weapons. There we go. Eknar's going to be on the Scaryfacez, and Centaur's going to be played by Quister. Draskell, what are we seeing from the die?
All right, so bottom here we're going to have Bulba. He's going to be playing on the Nyx, and then towards middle lane, it's going to be Qualifier playing the Queen that he played in game number 1. Way2 is going to be handling the Chen. Pylai Dai going to be playing Shadow Demon, and of course that leaves black for Phantom Lancer. Oh, and by the way, if I didn't mention it already, I love Nyx. Like, I really love playing that hero. He's so fun.
Why? What is so amazing about this hero?
Because he's so disruptive to a team fight. Like, look at the heroes that Scaryfacez have. You mana burn a Centaur once, he cannot use all of his spells anymore. Like, he just can't. Oh, okay, that's a good fissure. He skills Doppelganger at level 1, though. Saves a skill point. Nicely done by Black, not to just randomly put a point into Lance, because that could have been scary.
It could have been indeed, but they get themselves out and back to the lanes. So, looking at the greater picture, looking at the lane, so obviously in the mid lane, we're expecting Qualifier to come very much out on top against this Shadow Fiend. Down in this bottom lane, it looks to be, I guess, the Centaur. Do you think, does he need the backup of the Scaryf in this lane, or could Scaryf do much more on the top lane in the tri-lane situation?
Well, the Scaryf is cool to give you an advantage. So the Centaur during the early laning phase against Nyx, it's kind of favored for Centaur, because a Nyx mana burning doesn't do much. Like, it's not like he wants to go and use his Hoof Stomp on you or anything like that. It's more just a matter of the Centaur has a better animation and higher base damage. So he probably doesn't need to be here at first. And I think helping the Shadow Fiend get ahead is probably a better choice, because if the Shadow Fiend gets ahead, it's easy to stay ahead. So we can see the tree and Way2 over here just kind of staring at each other. Take a glimpse bottom and see what Bulba can do, but either way, Bulba's going to get EXP. Like, he's not going to get completely zoned. Nyx has very good base regen, one of the highest in the game, so I think he'll be fine.
And, I mean, in terms of the Nyx's item build, will we expect to see him just go straight for the Blink Dagger?
Yeah, Arcane's Blink is pretty standard. I don't think he'll go
Oh, this Earthshaker might be dead here on the top lane. The 3 stacks of Shadow Poison.
Oh, middle as well.
Oh, it's not enough, but yeah, middle lane, it was enough there. The aggression from Team Tinker. They go in, and they're able to find a pick off there onto the SF. And
Tornado Creep and Shadow Strike level 2. It's unbelievable. Like, you get slowed from the dagger, and the tornado just follows you around.
Indeed, 1-0 so far. It's the start that Team Tinker are going to be very happy with, but not the start that Scaryfacez wanted to find. See Flo going very aggressive here against the Scaryf. He's not scared of this spam, because as you said, with that 3.5 base HP regen, he's going to be absolutely fine. In this lane for the time being, up by the top rune, we see the Treant going to secure that for himself, going to get him a bounty rune, and he just needs as much XP and help as he can get.
Oh god, he's getting a regen. That Shadow Fiend is so sad. That is a sad, that's a Shadow Fiend right now.
This is, yeah, this lane's not looking good already. I mean, look, 11-3 against the 4-for-2 of the SF. Shadow Fiend's already died once. I mean, oh, we're still early on. Scaryfacez, they've still got a lot of potential. What is it that they need to be really focusing on in the early game here to make sure the game doesn't go how it did in the first round?
They need to help the Shadow Fiend. They can't leave him here. I really think the Skywrath or the tree should just be sitting on this lane.
Top lane, mate. Earthshaker. They're chasing him down, Ramses.
He doesn't have Lance mana, though. He's fine.
Shadowware's coming in with the wrap round, and there's no doppelganger for 12 seconds. He's not going to be able to find the range, though, for the Leech Seed, so black on the PL is going to be fine. Mid lane, Qualifier. Going to go a little bit of ham here against State 21, but as you said, he can easily afford to do so with the regen rune. He's going to be back up to tip-top shape. And lane concussive shot flies through. They're going to be able to find the Hoof Stomp. Ancient Seal as well. That will be enough with the double edge and the right clicks there. They do find themselves a very nice kill there against the Nyx Assassin. Mid lane, though, Qualifier's going in. Is the living armor, will it have been enough? Well, maybe with the turning around and the races, they do connect. And, well, hats off there to State 21 turning around that aggression.
Very nicely done. Qualifier just went too aggressive. He wanted to try to go for the kill because he knew that the Shadow Fiend didn't have his bottle yet, and if he got one more auto, it probably would have resulted in that. But the tree armor coming out from Shadow kept him alive just a little bit longer than Qualifier was expecting. And it was a misplay by Qualifier. Like, even if he had just backed off and kept the Shadow Fiend low, he didn't even have money for bottle. So that kind of brings him back into the lane a bit.
See a smoke up here from the Chen. Going into the Radiant jungle, it will get dispelled though by the Scaryfacez mage. They've still got the Centaur and they've got the Troll Summoner. He's actually going to send those straight towards the mid lane without himself. He's going to go back the other way. We'll get spotted out here though by Trian. He's going to walk into the Centaur. State 21, he's fairly low though. I mean, they might look to dive this with the Queen of Pain. Top lane though, disruption onto Earthshaker. He is out of mana and Black chasing this one down. Has he got enough mana for another Spirit Lance? Even if he did, the Living Armor will come out and Earthshaker will be able to back up far enough to get himself out of that situation. But still, 4 minutes in, 2-1, favoring the side of SFC. Scaryfacez. If we look at the CS at the moment, so we can just have a look how the lanes are doing in terms of farm. So you got your Centaur Warren at the top, in fact, on this bottom lane. The space certainly being created by the Scaryfacez, which in itself is going to lend the Centaur a very early blink timing, I can imagine.
Getting an early blink and maybe rotating the Shaker in is what Scaryfacez have in mind for the overall game plan. I thought they might prioritize the Shaker because I feel like the Centaur just needs his ulti. And I think that the Shaker getting farm is more important because his ulti is not really useful until he has blink. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the Shaker offlane versus the Centaur offlane. Because the Centaur would still get the experience, which is all I think that is necessary for him at the early phase. And then you just use Centaur ulti with Blink Shaker and you force fights that way. And I think that might have been a bit more impactful. But either way, seems to be working out decently so far for Scaryfacez. Their start has been a lot better than game number 1, which I suppose isn't saying much. But State, he's starting to catch up in the overall farm here. He's now level 6. And once he gets souls, that's the dream. That's when you can start just out-CSing your opponent.
And yeah, mid lane, still just 400 gold behind the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain obviously being helped out by that early first blood. It's going to be a bit of a wraparound here from the Earthshaker, and Qualifier has got the blink available. Fisher will catch him. Has he got another raise to follow up? Even if he did, wouldn't have quite been enough to bring down this Quap. Still 2 for 1 on the board, and things are certainly looking up, yeah, in terms of comparison to the first game. For the side of Scaryfacez, Pink Panda coming in with the Chen army. It's going to help secure that rune, just in case it was going to be contested by the Radiant. 6 minutes in. I mean, the problem is, though, for the side of SFC, because of this core Shaker and, in effect, the core Centaur, going up against a PL, I mean, you do not want this to go late, surely.
No. Not late. You're putting all in on your mid game by having a Centaur and a Shaker together. The Shadow Fiend can kind of semi-carry, but he's not farming well enough to where I feel comfortable with him having like that mech mid-game timing. I almost feel like just going for BKB would be better for him, because with a Shaker and a Centaur ulti, it's really easy to get into position to be able to use your Requiem. And that way you can just go into a team fight with a 10-second BKB at like maybe 15 minutes with your treads and your bottle and try to just fight based off that. We're going to see a smoke here also from the side of Team Tinker is way too looking to set up potentially on mid lane. They do have a high ground ward, so they're going to see the Shaker there. Not sure how high of success rate this gank is going to have.
It's certainly going to be a tricky one.
Oh, he's just going to go top. Okay, yeah, that's definitely the better call.
Indeed, yes. I guess they'll like start to push the aggression with the PL, and the Shadow Demon try to get a reaction. And they're going to get reaction in the form of the Earthshaker coming into this top lane. Well, Scaryfacez mage on the bottom lane will be able to find the kill onto the Nyx with the help of the Centaur Warrener. Mid lane Black just forcing the lane down, keeping the Earthshaker as far back as he can, so they can get the damage done onto the tower. Fortification will come out, but the tower's very, very low, and it will go down. No one able to find the last final touch though. That is the first tier 1 down of the game, so a nice bit of gold swing there going to the Dire. But still at the moment, the farm for the Radiant is not looking bad at all. I mean, what kind of items have we got in this center at the moment?
He has blink already.
He does have the blink, yeah, I was going to say.
That's how they killed the... What they did was they went Ancient Seal into stun, and then Double Edge. By the way, 400 magic damage base on level 4 Double Edge, and an Ancient Seal on top of that, which I think is 40% damage amplification. It hurts bad. Like, real bad. It almost one-shot him, actually.
I mean, the Nyx Assassin, due to this lane, hasn't found a lot of farm. He's just finding the levels. He's about to close in on enough money for the Arcane Boots. I mean, does it really matter for the Nyx if he doesn't have the best of starts?
He just needs Arcanes. That's like his one core item. Getting a blink is still considered luxury. It's all about what he does during the mid game. Like, what ganks can he help set up? Because with the Chen and the Shadow Demon, it's very easy to line up Impales. You have to remember, though, that you can't really target the stun anymore, so it can be kind of a nuisance if you're not proficient with the hero to ensure that you're going to be able to land them when you need to. And plus, it's actually, this hero for me is more about the mana burn and the carapace than the actual stun itself, because the stun is still great. It's an almost 3-second stun, but the disruptiveness of having carapace out when you have nothing but like AoE damage dealing heroes, so Scaryfacez ulti and Shadow Fiend with raises and Requiem and Earthshaker, like just getting stunned because you're trying to go for a kill is crazy annoying.
Mid lane, they might be trying to do that SFC themselves. They've got 4 heroes here. Just waiting to see if Qualifier goes in a bit aggressive. If they don't still have that high ground dart, no, it's been dewarded by the sentries, so Qualifier is not too aware of what's going on the Radiant side of the map. He's going to be aware that obviously the top lane's kind of been left alone. The side of the Radiant haven't really shown themselves recently at all. Earthshaker sticking around here. Level 6 has got the Echo Slam available as well. But still, Qualifier just keeping himself safe. It's going to be hard to catch out this Queen. Earthshaker moving forward a little bit, maybe seeing if he can find the Fissure to just catch her on the tip, but it's not going to be the case. Qualifier keeping himself very, very safe indeed. I mean, 3-1. It's favouring SFC in terms of kills. The farm, the net worth is looking pretty good as well for the Radiant. I mean, do you feel this is quite clearly a very strong position for the Radiant to be in, or do you still feel Team Tinker are ahead at this point?
Team Tinker are ahead by virtue of their lineup, because they can go into the later stages feeling confident with their PL and Shadow Demon combo. And Shadow Demon still does great against a single core team. We also haven't really talked about it, but having Demonic Purge and Soul Catcher, both of those things pierce BKB. So you can't like BKB off Soul Catcher, which means you're still taking amplified damage on your Shadow Fiend if you ever get caught out of position. As a core Centaur, I'm not feeling so hot about going late game against a PL who's going to have Diffusal Manta. He'll burn my mana instantly if I don't already get it burned from the Nyx, just mana burning me one time. Like, mana burn for him, if it's maxed out, he has 26 int right now, or 27, I guess, if you count the branch in his inventory. So he's going to lose like 140 something mana. That means that he can no longer combo. Like, that hurts so much because you only need to get mana burned once and you're screwed.
Yeah, indeed. So he's going to have to be very careful jumping in to these fights when the Nyx is about. Smoke up now by the 3 of them on the Radiant. We've got the Earthshaker, the Centaur, and the Scaryfacez ready to go. And also the Shadow Fiend backing them up in the mid lane. Maybe looking to try and bait the co-op, or are they going to head straight for the top and look for a kill on the PL? Looks like that might be the case. Killing the PL now at this point is going to be pretty major. He's second highest on the net worth board. Has had pretty much uninterrupted farms so far. Has that Yasha 1200 gold on top as well. Black, is he going to get caught out here?
Oh, they know somebody's there. It just broke. He's pinging. Oh, he shouldn't go first, though. That's such a bad idea. Okay, yeah, this is a failed gank. That was a bad call from Ramses going in first. His abilities are way too telegraphed to open up on the peel. Like, you needed the blink, and you needed an immediate Centaur stomp. Like, they should have, like, sat there, had the Centaur blink over the trees into the camp and just stun. Because it was, like, almost 100% certain that they were killing that camp.
Okay, so yeah, failed gank, bit of wasted time there for the Radiant. And yeah, it's, I mean, still farm-wise there at the top. There's the mech being finished off by the Shadow Fiend. 12 minutes in, so it's not going to be too much of a bad timing on that indeed. Pink Panzer and Flow, they're going to go for the push here on the bottom lane. They have the 3 Centaurs and the Troll Summoner, and the Skeleton Army up and available as well. So they could look to go for the tier 1 here. There's going to be this Treant Protector waltzing his way down. It has got level 6. He's got the Overgrowth available for this defense. So if anyone decides to come in and back him up on the side of the Radiant. Scaryfacez Mage and this is here, well, the Earthshaker in the jungle at the moment. Flow, he's going to walk past the Nature's Guys. Treant, he's going to go deeper. There's back up a Qualifier and Pylight Die. Mystic Flare straight onto the head of Qualifier, but this defensive disruption is going to buy him a lot of time. Overgrowth will catch free, but is anyone going down here? Scaryfacez getting fairly low to the chin, and there we go. Qualifier helping to finish that one off. That's the first kill of the fight. Raises do catch Shadow Demon there on the retreat, so it is a 1-for-1 trade there, trading the supports between the two sides.
Could have went a lot worse for Team Tinker. That disruption coming out from Pylight Die was key. Quickfoot was 100% dead if he didn't do that because he was stunned and a Scaryfacez ulti. So well played from the martyr Shadow Demon. Ended up giving up his life for the cause. And bottom lane pressure probably still going to be continued here for a little while. And this Centaur needs to be careful. He can actually die to everything that's down here. They're going to have some TP reaction coming in from Scaryfacez. No ulti though yet on the Scaryfacez.
Right now the Arcane Bolt trying to zone them back, but still, I mean, their pressing problem is the fact that PL continues to farm and nothing is being done about it. Black at the moment with the Yasha And Blade of Alacrity and 1200 gold on top of that on his way to the Diffuse. And as soon as we see the Diffusion on Black, he's going to be able to hold his own in these fights. But looking at the skill build so far, obviously just with the 1 point in Phantom Rush, deciding to opt for stats above that, just kind of shows that he's really just going to be focusing on farming for the time being and has no kind of incentive to fight at the moment.
It's an okay way to play so long as you're not fighting. In any other circumstance, you can leave Phantom Rush at level 1. I think that ability is fine to not skill. But stats over getting like 5 seconds off per rank of Doppelganger is too good to pass up, in my opinion. So as soon as he starts getting a little bit more levels, maybe finishes up his Diffusal Blade, then he'll start thinking about skilling that more. Because it's not even just about the escape potential, it's about the damage output that you get from being able to use the ability more often and having more illusions spawn, which means your Diffusal burns more mana, and that's more pushing power as well. So we'll see what Scaryfacez want to do for this mid defense. Bulba's in a pretty nice position here.
He is. He's going to be able to fall. Oh, no, with the blink straight in, the Qualifier will get defensively disrupted. Have they got the control of the Queen of Pain? Nope, she's able to get out. That's going to be the blink escape. Nice ultimate there, catching the Centaur and the Shadow Fiend. The damage is going to be nullified, though, by the mech as they heal back up. Raze will finish off the Shadow Demon. So they do find a kill there, SFC, and they lose nothing. They might lose the tier 2 on the top lane, though, because Black continuing to split push. And yeah, he will be able to find the tower kill here. So they do lose the support, but space essentially created, and that's Boots of Travel now finished on Black.
Hey, he's going full farm. I think that's still okay, though. It's very hard for the enemy team to catch him unless you have a Blink Echo. Like, even the Blink War Stomp, you probably have time to Doppelganger if you're paying very close attention and you maybe anticipate that the gank is coming your way. I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say that he could probably just Doppelganger out of a stun like that. But a Blink Echo, on the other hand, is almost impossible because it's so fast. It's just boom, immediate as soon as you blink. How is his item progress anyway? Okay, it's 1200 gold. So he will be there probably in the next like 5-6 minutes, I would say. Because he's not really farming that fast, and maybe they prioritize his farm and he gets it quicker. We'll see.
If they can kind of team up and help him get this top tower, that would certainly help out bottom lane. Snake coming in with the raises, Qualifier and Bulba in the sidelines there on the Nyx Assassin. Incoming the Centaur and the Skyrath as well. So Nyx needs to be a bit careful here. Might get caught out by an Ancient Seal, and is he going to go for it? They've got the Stampede and the Blink. He's going to pop the ultimate, head straight out. Sentry is thrown down, but Nyx is going to be well and truly out of there. Mid lane, the push coming in by the Chen army, and with that push, we'll be able to find the tier 1. Shadow Air hiding under the cover of Nature's Guise from the sidelines. Doesn't want to commit, and doesn't want to start a fight yet. Top lane, Ramses feeling the wrath here of the PL. Illusions forcing him back. There's going to be a wraparound as well. Pylite Dire and Bulba coming around on the SD and the Nyx Assassin. But Earthshaker, is he going to stick around? Earthshaker, you got to be careful here, son. He gets caught by the slow from the Lance. There's definitely going to be the potential for the rest of the side of Team Tinker to follow through. Yeah, he's keeping himself back. Bottom lane, Qualifier might get spotted out here. No, with the Jukes. Scarf is not going to be able to find the Ancient Seal there, and Qualifier, he is out. So 5-2 still favouring SFC. If we have a look at the actual graphs now, 16.5 minutes in, what are we seeing? Yeah, Team Tinker, with the amount of farm that they are getting on their cores, 3k gold worth and 2k XP lead. So it is looking pretty good for Team Tinker.
The longer the game goes, the more comfortable I feel that they will be. Scaryfacez have a nice timing. Oh, disruption here. Top lane, the creep.
Oh, well, you said about the stun being a little bit hard to hit. It's going to be a little bit short, a little bit off point, and off the back of that, Ramses lucky enough to get away. Even with Black TPing in there, couldn't quite join into the fight before the ES had walked it off.
It was nice timing from the center ulti. He waited until after the Shadow Demon Purge before he decided to pop it. Because they thought it was just a free kill, you know? Like they said, okay, well, he's dead because he's disrupted, but not the case against the Centaur.
Lane Chen coming in, state 21, waltzing backwards. They don't have they do have a troll summoner if they want to try and go in on the SF. Oh, the stun is going to miss. Poison being laid down, mana burn as well there, just making it a little bit harder for State to fight up in these fights. Especially, I mean, taking away the mana from the hero that's carrying the mech is also something that's going to be pretty nice in these team fights.
A mech is 225 mana. So a mech costs the same as if you were to use all 3 of your raises in succession. So you have to decide between, do I want to do 900 magic damage and an AoE, or do I want to heal my team? Because if you're up against a Nyx, you're not going to have mana to do it all if Bulba's on point.
Blink forward, Who Stomp into the double edge and Mystic Flare. That will bring down Chen here in the Radiant Jungle. And, that is all that's going to happen in this fight for the time being. The rest of the side of Team Tinkerino trying to get out. The Chen army, oh, it's going to be sacrificed. Two of the creeps going. The Troll Summoner He'll go down as well, so everything that the Chen had and loved has now been taken away from him. 6-2, and again, another nice kill there for Scaryfacez, but still, Black PL in the jungle, continuing to farm up. Oh, Quiz going in with a blink. Disruption from Pylai dies on 10 HP. There is a Stampede available, and he'll go in. Well, hasn't got the ultimate there to purge it off, so he will take the full brunt of the Centaur to the face, and that'll be another pick off there for the side of SFC. But yeah, as I was saying before that, still, it's all about the PL.
So I learned something today. Shadow Demon Purge doesn't purge Centaur ulti.
Oh, did he use it? Oh, and it didn't. Okay.
It didn't take it off.
Okay.
It slowed him a bit, but it didn't actually take it off, which is weird. Like the interaction between the two abilities is not what I was expecting. So there you go. You can learn every day when you play Dota 2. And by the way, triple raise is 975 magic damage, not 900. I'm a noob. I forgot they buffed it by 25.
Honestly, Jasko, we get it.
I don't even know. Like,
and come on.
I just forgot. I was like, it hit me because he was one-shotting there. Oh, no.
He's got the Orchid. He's going to try and TP out. This time, the stun will be on point from Bulba, and they will be able to bring down the SF, and that kill going to the Phantom Lancer as well.
Yeah, very nice pick off there. Not having the SF for any kind of pushing that they want to do. Those deaths are so much more impactful as well because their lineup needs to be able to crush mid-game. Like, they need the Shaker Blink, the Centaur Blink, Shadow Fiend with a really good amount of farm. I don't know about the Manta choice. It seems weird. Like, if it were...
it's the Orchid, or would you just prioritize BKB instead?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I would just want to go BKB because if I want to fight around Roche or I want to fight like into a tower, like tier 2s, I want BKB against the Nyx, against the Queen, even against like the PL to an extent, so he can't spam lances on me. You know, it has a lot of use with this kind of lineup because your timing is supposed to be like 25-30 minutes in. That's your go. I mean, they're going even a little bit early here, but I think they do have Shaker's Blink, so still is a very, very good smoke if they can find anyone.
Okay, here we go, leading in with the smoke into the jungle, but this side of Team Tinkerino, they're heading down to the bottom, maybe thinking about doing Roshan, so it's going to be hard for SFC to catch anyone out here. The smoke, they're actually going to head into the Radiant jungle, trying to look for someone themselves, so the smokes in tandem, just dodging each other out for the time being. Maybe on the way back out the Radiant jungle, the side of Team Tinker are going to back into SFC, and SFC, Ramsey's blinking forward into the pit. Are they going to be able to catch anyone here on the retreat? We see Shadow Demon on the high ground. He's going to spot out SFC. Pylai in a bit of a risky position. Throws the disruption down. Oh, he's going to get caught by an Ancient Seal. Mystic Flare doing half his damage. Fisher coming through as well. Shadow Demon is going to remain alive. Spirit Lance onto the Skyrath. They pop the Stampede. Echo Slam is going to get juked off by Black with the Doppelganger, who now turns around with the Diffusion Charge and the Sentinel, but they lose the Queen of Pain to the raises here from the Shadow Fiend. 2 heroes down so far on the Radiant. Oh, he's getting stun locked by the Centaurs. Does manage to get the Requiem out. Second Requiem isn't enough, though, to bring down Chen. 3 heroes fall on the Radiant, only losing the Quap here on the side of Team Tinkerino. So all in all, a very nice fight there for the Dire.
It was very fortunate that the Shadow Fiend even was able to get all of his spells off. Like, he raised, he got a Requiem, he even used his mech, but when he Requiemed, he got stunned by Carapace, so he was stunned for 1.8 seconds and not able to really do anything after the fact. They are going to lose the Shadow Demon, though, to a stray Fissure coming out here from Ramses, and I think Sam wants some revenge, but the Living Armor! Good blink.
Yes, he's nearly messing up a little bit there. It's not gonna be disjointed. Oh. Follows through, and with the slap there from Ramses on the Earthshaker. Oh, he tries to TP out. You ain't TPing away from Black. Black will find that kill. He might find more as well. I just want to go for it. TPs are coming into the bottom lane. But all in all, yeah, I mean, so what, the Earthshaker takes down the Shadow Demon, but then I guess they get the Phoenix as well, so it is a double kill, but you are giving more farm to the PL as he's able to pick that kill up. And now he's got a Reaver on top of the Yasha, Diffusal boots to travel at only 22 minutes.
Going for the heart is the safe choice, if you want to call it that. He can finish up Manta afterwards, and even just having that inventory at maybe like 30 minutes, 31, 32, something like that, you have heart, Manta, Diffusal, maybe even level 2, because he's still holding on to his Quelling, so his farm rate is accelerated pretty heavily, given PL still has decent stat gain. It's not the 4.2 Agi gain that it once was, but he still has 3, which is fairly hefty. So Gem now purchased on the Earthshaker, but again, the story of the game is what can Scaryfacez do in this time? Like, this is their time frame to really make stuff happen. If you let Black get another item, or you let him get to the heart of Manta, you're going to have a really bad time late game. Your Shadow Fiend is not going to be able to carry you late with these items.
Black is getting very, very well and truly out of control. 13k up against the 11k of the Shadow Fiend. I mean, so after the Manta style, what does the Shadow Fiend really need to be looking at in terms of item build? I mean, does he still need a BKB, or if he goes for that, is he Shadow Fiending wrong?
Well, if you go for BKB now, it's still a good choice. The thing with BKB purchasing is it has to be for a specific reason. You're either fighting because the enemy team is pressuring you, or you're buying it because you want to end the game before the enemy team gets too many items, in which case the BKB against heroes like PL becomes worse, because PL buys a lot of stat items and he doesn't waste an inventory slot on a BKB, which is not an item that you really want to buy for carry versus carry situations. And when you get that far in, it's like, okay, well now suddenly the Shadow Fiend has like Manta, BKB, 2 items that don't really grant him a whole lot of damage, and he bought a mech. So he is building for his team right now and being able to add influence to the pushes. But if he goes BKB, it's much easier for them to fight Roche, and it's much easier for them to push in and take a real engagement, which I'm not even sure Team Tinker are going to give them at this point. They might just start going full rat, like Black has bots. I think they'll probably just go for more lane pressure and prevent Scaryfacez from ever getting in that 5 versus 5 scenario.
I mean, in these team fight situations, obviously with the Requiem of Souls reducing the damage, can you doppelganger that debuff off?
I don't know if you can doppelganger the debuff, but I know you can doppelganger the Requiem itself, because you have a full second of invulnerability.
Easily, yeah.
I mean, last fight, Black dodged an Echo, so I wouldn't put it past him to dodge a Requiem.
Link forward there from Quista, just for who's stomping the double edge is obviously going to be nowhere near enough to burst down this PL at this point. 24 minutes in. It's looking pretty good here for Team Tinker, but it's, well, they've managed to last 10 minutes longer than they did in the first round. SFC certainly proving to be a lot stronger in this game too. And they've still got the potential to pull something off, but as we're saying, it's got to be sooner rather than later when you're going up against this Black PL, who's getting pretty much off the charts at this point. Treant Protector is only 450 gold off his Aghanim's.
Yeah, it's really important for him too. I find it strange that a lot of trees nowadays are completely opting out of getting Leech Seed at all, like even just 1 point. Because for 1 point, you get a 28 movement speed slow for almost 5 seconds. That's still fairly useful. The healing is negligible, I guess, after a certain point, but I still think that the later the game goes, Leech Seed gets worse, obviously, because the heal doesn't mean as much. But even having 1 point, being able to slow something like a Shadow Demon or a Chen, it's very useful. But the Ags is great because it starts letting them deal with the ratting, like de-pushing just by having some trees in lane and just using overgrowth that way.
Here we go, blink forward with the Stampede as well. Fisher onto Black. Can they control it? There's your Echo Slam. Maybe they can. They're trying to stagger it. There's your overgrowth, but he will be able to doppelganger out. There's your answer to what we were asking in the draft, Draskell. They will continue to try and chase him down. In comes the concussive bolt. Blink forward, enchant totem, getting the passive stun onto him. Ancient Steel, Black will go down. They commit a lot, but they do find the PL kill.
He could have diffused himself there at the end to get rid of the silence. Maybe he just wasn't expecting this guy to be able to get in range and just got caught out a bit. Because his doppelganger was up again. He could have purged and then doppelgangered again and just bait out a little bit more time. But it's, you know, it was a 5-man gank, and they echoed him. And
Fisher, Echo Slam is not there, so I don't know why I said it, but there was an Ancient Steel. BKB there from Qualifier will remove the silence. He's trying to fight up here against Ramses. Ramses with the living armor. Those are going to be a bit of a tough target. Qualifier does manage to blink out, though, in the nick of time.
That was very, very close. He wanted to try to go for something because he just saw Black get the old everything, like literally everything. Overgrowth, Centaur ulti, like Echo Slam. I don't think they Requiemed him, did they?
Radiant's bottom
no.
tower.
They didn't. No, they didn't use that on the top of PL, no. So they've still got that. Chen, he's playing a little bit ballsy here. There's going to be a TP in from Sensor. Chen with the TP. He's going to be fine. Quista, he guesses for one of the trees. It's going to be the wrong one. Does find the Chen army, though. Gets a couple of nice, tasty creeps there for himself. Next, with the Vendetta. Rotating around towards the Ancients and maybe seeing if he could catch anyone out. It's not going to be the case. Heading up to the top lane now. And PL, though, still at the top. But Shadow Fiend is closing in now. Only 500 gold behind the PL. But still, I guess the issue is at the same level of farm at this point, the PL's still the stronger hero.
Definitely. The other problem too is Scaryfacez are fighting around Team Tinker's terms. Like they're stopping Black from split pushing. They're going bottom to kill Chen creeps. They're never really doing anything that says you have to pay attention to us. Like we're gonna push into your tower. We're gonna go for Roshan, or we're gonna go kill the tier 1 safe lane. Because they're not reacting or they're playing like solely reactionary Dota, which a lot of experienced teams will make you do because they realize that they can push the advantage and Pylai die.
Oh yeah, he gets a disruption there onto the Sentinel. Sentinel does have the Stampede and he will use it because he wants to try and chase this down. 4-star forward is going to be more than enough with the raise there from State 21 to bring down this Shadow Fiend. And well, mid lane, Bulba with the Vendetta, maybe thinking about wrapping around here. He's on his own though. Doesn't really want to go in. We've got any gems on the side of the Radiant? No. Well, here we go with the blink forward from Qualifier. A Orchid of Malevolent Silence. The living armor proves to be a bit of an issue, but is it going to be enough? No. Oh, can they deny him? He's still got the poison on him. Yeah, there we go. No, it doesn't work. Oh, the deny's mistimed.
Yeah. They do have a gem, by the way. It's just on the courier.
Ah, okay, it's on the courier.
Yeah. It was on the Shaker earlier. I think Ramsey is actually the one who bought it, but now he has it in his inventory as he's dead. All right. Good to know. So where is this tree? See, if I was in this position, I would probably put all of the eyes in the forest in those side lanes, like top and bottom, because that way you can just overgrowth to push the wave out, and that way you don't ever have to specifically say, let's try to 5-man gank the PL and have to use like 4 ultimates to kill him, because that's not what you want to have to do. If you can just idly push out the waves, that is the ideal situation. That was an insanely fast reaction. What the? That guy's like map hacking or something.
Yeah, Jesus. Wow. It's their instinct. Thought you unlock it at 6k. 29 minutes. Qualifier farm in the jungle. He's picked up that second Oblivion, so I guess we're going to see the refresher all come out from the quad.
It's really nice for being able to just deal a tremendous amount of burst damage. You know, you get like 2 ultis off, 2 screams, double BKB, double Orchid, and again, the only person on the side of Scaryfacez who can even break Orchid in the first place is the Shadow Fiend. So if you like Orchid the Treant, and ulti and scream, and then BKB, refresh, and then you ulti again, and you can just Orchid like the Shaker or something, I don't know. It's like a very high skill cap item because you have to prioritize who you want to use your abilities on first, make sure you actually use them all, and then refresh and do it again. So, it's fun to watch though. I like refresher plays.
So smoke up there from SFC, heading towards the top lane, towards the PL, but PL Black does just TP down to the bottom lane. Things coming out, Roshan is of course up. And it looks like Team Tinker in a pretty good place here if they want to try and take it. They're going to give it a shot. Black heading into the pit. In terms of items, yeah, of course, with that heart complete. Now 2.1k gold. I mean, even though it's a lot later than maybe sometimes it is picked up, do you still go for that Manta to finish off that?
Yeah, Manta's a crazy good item on any illusion hero. You definitely want it. Not just because of the fact that you want the illusions, but because having a secondary thing to remove Ancient Seal. And you already have a Diffusal, but you don't really want to use Diffusal.
Oh, Stampede going straight in here as they're trying to counter the initiation that was onto the tree. And Trin's going to be able to live. Massive Requiem catching out the Chen. Black, he's getting fairly low. Needs to think about backing up. Echo Slam was popped there by the Earthshaker. Wasn't able to achieve anything, and he does go down. 1-for-1 trade so far. Mystic Flare gets thrown down. It's not going to, well, it's going to catch out the Nyx, but Qualifier picks up the kill onto the Scarif Mage. Now the 3 of them, Pylai die, Black and Qualifier going in onto Quista here on this Centaur Warrunner. The Living Armor's going to buy him some time, some health. It's not going to be enough. They're looking for the TP out, but there's your disruption. It's a triple kill so far here for Qualifier. He might be able to make it more with Black and himself hitting away onto the Shadow Fiend. Ultra kill there for Qualifier. What a cleanup from Team Tinker.
And they get the gem on top of that. So the Skywrath soloed the Nyx, which I thought was really nice because when the Nyx is off the team fight, there's a lot less to worry about for the side of Scaryfacez and just like randomly getting stunned. And that's one of their primary disablers. Like Team Tinker lost their only stunning hero at the very beginning of the engagement, and they still managed to turn a fight like that and get Qualifier and Ultra. And this is, again, a team that you do not want to go late game against, and you just lost a massive Roshan fight. Now, granted, Team Tinker won't be able to get the Roshan, but for sure, the next team fight, the advantage will be theirs, just because of how much they're going to be able to get from that engagement. Like, that's the full Manta for Black, like winning that team fight alone. So now Black, he has his Manta Heart. We were talking about he'd have it probably like 30, 32 minutes, somewhere around there. He's got it right on time. He's 3-1-4, so he hasn't really been contributing in fights a ton, but he hasn't needed to because Team Tinker understand that PL in the late game is still a force to be reckoned with, especially against a single core lineup of Scaryfacez.
Indeed, and if we have a look at the net worth and the XP, let's have a look at the differences now. Yeah, coming up to 10k in terms of net worth. XP-wise as well, 12k, just due to the amount of farming these guys have done. And obviously off the back of that very good team fight for the Black. Here with the Invis Rune, he's going to give it a shot going in on the Centaur. Doppelganger's off the Who Stomp. 4 staff back from Quista, and uses the Stampede as well just to disengage. And top lane, Shadowway. He's found himself a Chen, but for the moment he's just prioritizing and getting those trees out here in the dire jungle. We'll just continue to do so. In the pit, I mean, but they didn't get Roshan, so let's go back for it now. Let's try round 2 with the old Rosh as Team Tinkerino head themselves into the pit. Scaryfacez, they're kind of all split up at the moment. I don't think they're going to be in any kind of position to contest this one. So Black should very well be able to have the Aegis on top of the Heartman to defuse or Boots to travel a key layer. And I mean, at that point, how'd you kill the PL twice?
I don't even know you're supposed to kill him once. Black already has 2,600 health. He might even go for a Scotty after the heart. Otherwise, I think he just goes Butterfly for damage.
A nice blink reaction there from the Nyx as they do come in with the smoke. It gets dispelled as Nyx sitting there with a Vendetta. And the time will be there. Queen of Pain gets himself the Aegis. So, I mean, to be fair, we should start to, well, I should at least start to assume this, because every time the Queen of Pain's in a game, they always seem to give her the Aegis.
It's because the hero has to play so aggressive.
Yeah.
It's the style, I think, for the hero to give it to them and be like, okay, yeah, just blink in, use all your abilities. And I was kind of wondering why he made Refresher, because he doesn't actually have mana to use it. Okay, so if he refreshes, it's 375 mana, right? And then he ultis. That's 500. That's already 800 mana gone. You multiply that by 2, it's like 1,700 and some change that you need to be able to ulti twice, right? Because it's 875 by just using Refresher and ulti once.
Yeah, so 875 and then add the 500 again. So it'll be 1375 for the combo.
If he respawns, and he uses all of his skills, right? You need like 1,700 mana to do like a Scream, a Dagger, Blink.
Oh
like,
yeah, if you wanted to do the whole
thing.
caboodle.
Yeah, if you want to do it all, which he doesn't have mana for. But he can use all of his spells, die, refresh, and then use them again, which is way better.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess that might be what he does decide to ult for. 14 to 12 Black, still getting very much out of control. 19,500 gold on this PL. It's 2k ahead of the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend in terms of items, have we seen anything big come out lately? No, he's still sitting on a lot of gold. 3.6k gold. I mean, what is he thinking about? Is he kind of weighing up the options? Is there something that he's waiting to see before he reacts with a certain item pickup?
I feel like this is one of the only games where I wouldn't want to make Scotty on Shadow Fiend. And it's mainly because of the Nyx. And plus, giving yourself a larger mana pool means the Diffusal does more damage to you. Because the larger mana pool you have, the more mana can be burned, the more damage that you take because of the Scotty. So I feel like almost a Lifesteal Butterfly would be the go-to, because it doesn't give you any stats that can be used against you. Having Evasion is great when you already have a 10-second BKB against a hero like PL. And it also means that you can build as a more of a late-game transition as opposed to Scotty, which still, as a 6-slot item, I suppose it's okay, but you also already want like Butterfly Satanic in that mix. And he won't have the inventory space because he bought a Manta. So he needs to be able to decide right now if he wants to get rid of that mech, maybe go for the Lifesteal into Butterfly, or if he just wants to go for the Scotty and hope that he can defend.
There we go, and going on the tier 2, Living Armor is thrown down, but it will get removed pretty quickly. So Scarith here on the front lines trying to send out a little bit of harassment, but it's not going to be enough to put Black off hitting away at the tower. There's more heroes now as Treant and Sentinel get themselves by the tier 3. It looks like, yeah, they're just going to have to let this tier 2 go, as Black will be able to claim that with this push. And now just the only tier 2 remaining for the Radiant in that mid lane. They themselves, they've only been able to claim 2 tier 1s off the side of the Dire. The trees, they've all been taken away from the Dire's jungle. They are managing to take the trees down very efficiently, the side of Team Tinker. So I don't know, I mean, is this one of the games where the tree axe isn't going to be that effective?
It's still doing some nice deep pushing. That's the main thing. Like, if you look at where they're placed in bottom, he can just overgrowth as the creep wave walks past.
Link forward with the Fisher here onto Pink Panther. The Fisher, Force-Staff up to the high ground. He is king of the hill. There's the float going in with the stun. But the Dangerous guy's going to buy some time. They do have the gem, of course. Overgrowth will hold back Black. Doppelganger. Now he goes in. The TP is not going to be enough for Treant to get himself out of there. Aegis would pop by Qualifier, but now he comes back with the BKB. Mystic Flare not going to do any damage to himself. State 21 comes out with a Requiem. It does catch onto 3 with the damage reduction, but they keep going in. Black will still be able to find the kill onto the Centaur. 2 heroes down so far on the side of SFC. The rest of them backing up to the high ground. Another very nice fight there for Team Tinker, and they should be able to push out down another tier 2 here in the mid lane if they so wish.
Still kind of sloppy, I think, for them to use. He used Refresher, BKB, like everything there. He still lost the Aegis and they only get 2. It doesn't feel like the greatest fight. They'll probably be able to get the tower for free, which is nice, but it felt a bit sloppy for me. Like, that ult from Quakefa hit 2, but it didn't really do anything, you know? I think he just wanted to throw it out because he had already popped his Refresher, and he's just like, I might as well, you know, because I just used it anyway. But Black still continuing his farm, and that's a full Scotty, so he's not going to go for the evasion, he's just going to go purely stats.
Okay, getting the illusions out. We'll get Ancient Seal, but the disruption's there. Got to protect him from that Arcane Bolt. And, well, Illusion's getting sent in onto the SF, eating up his mana. He's at half mana. He's going even lower. Goodbye mana. State 21 now with no mana. Has to go back to base. And that's the power of the PL.
It really is. He's even opting to go for a damage item, which I kind of get why you would want to, because Black has 3,500 health. You need a way of actually killing him at this point. And without a Daedalus, maybe they, even with a Butterfly, I don't know if they would have had the damage. So I think this is actually a good call here from State, just to go for the right-click potential.
They've got everyone back. Oh, hang on, Skyrath, he goes down in the midst of it all. PL finding the kill with just the Illusions. The Illusions chase him all the way back to base. Blink 4 from Bulba will pop down the mana burn here on to the Centaur. But yeah, Skyrath did die in the fountain there to Illusions. I mean,
that's the
great.
reverse stream. Oh. These Illusions are really, really tanky. Like, that's the problem. And with a Shadow Demon and Manta, you're talking about 4 extra Illusions that you're just going to have that are a lot stronger than the normal PL Illusion.
There goes State 21's mana, and he goes back to base. Again, I mean, you come out and you can't hold the defense because you've got nothing to throw at them.
The mana burn is really the nuisance. You walk up, the Nyx mana burns you. You get lanced once, your mana's gone, you can't do anything, you go back to base. That's why the Nyx didn't have a gigantic impact this game, but he was enough of a nuisance to just give Black the space that he needed to farm. That double edge did nothing.
I think it did more to the center. There's your Echo Slam. They have managed to trap Black here with the Ancient Seal. Hand of God is not going to be enough. They do bring down the PL. Finally, SFC finding the kill that they've been waiting for in that defense. The patience certainly paid off. Pink Panda going to look for the TP out. Blink forward. Quista and Ramses will team up. And so that was a good defense there, getting the two big hero pickoffs.
That was very nice coordination. They dumped everything on that PL again, and the disruption wasn't there. So they didn't have Pylai in the right position. I don't know like what happened, but he wasn't able to save Black. He ate like a full Scaryfacez ulti, he ate an Echo. Like there was no disjointing any of the damage, and when that happens, it's very difficult to live, even with 3,500 health.
Yeah, indeed, and a nice bit of golden XP swing going this side of the Radiant Qualifier. Always got a blink in Shiva's guard. There's your Orchid. Yours will buy the Earthshaker sometime, but there's your ultimate, and they do have the yours, secondary yours there into the stun. That'll be enough to bring down the ES. Gemma's True Sight is on the ground. Blink forward there by the Shadow. Was that the Shadow? No, sorry, it's Qualifier. Yeah, blinking forward. No, it was Shadow.
They both have blink.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, and they give the gem to the Nyx, and he's going to start. Well, is it? There we go. He was just playing around there with the Impale.
Maybe Black does go back for BKB.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because of his positioning, I feel like it was hard for Pylai to get in a spot where he could do something. But if you just buy a BKB, you can just fight, like Sing style, I guess. He buys BKB on that hero, and I don't think that many other people do typically. If he goes for the Butterfly, his Illusions and his right-click damage will be insane. Like, he'll be able to kill the base extremely fast. But if you have a 10-second BKB with Heart, Scotty, Diffusal, Manta, that team fight that you take with a 10-second BKB, you can fight on your own terms. You say, look, we're going in. You bait the Centaur ulti or something like that, and then you can BKB if they want to re-engage, and then you just fight, and you almost can't lose. Like, the Shadow Fiend does a pretty good amount of damage, and we could see the spike up here in experience and gold in the favor of Shadow. Why did I almost call them Shadow Fiends?
Boba, he's found the Treant Protector. In comes Pylai as well. Treant gets Orchided up. The damage is going to be there. Qualifier going to get himself a monster kill streak as he picks off Treant. And the 17 SFC, I mean, do they have the power to turtle, or is it only going to be lasting so long?
I think eventually they'll just get whittled down by illusion spam.
Oh, Echo.
That hurts so bad. I think they push off that.
Literally resounding there through the empty valley. Oh boy.
Qualifier has bots, so they just need to rotate the Chen in middle lane, and Pylai also needs to be at the push. But I think after the Echo being down, like, it's still 2 minutes that you have. And that's the only way they can kill Black is if they have Echo.
That's not the greatest way to start up this this minute of gameplay, as the push is going to be coming in, indeed, from Team Tinker. Ready to head to the high ground. Black on the front lines. We'll get Ancient sealed up, but he's got the Manta. Blink forward from Qualifier. Taking a bit of damage there from the Mystic Flare. Gets himself out of it. He's getting burst down pretty quickly. We'll be able to dispel it, and there's your Doppelganger to avoid some of this damage coming out. We'll back out as well. Qualifier staying on the front lines. Boba has got a DD and can go back in. Shiva's guard and the punches there from Queen of Pain enough to bring down Eknar on the Scaryfacez mage. Shadow Fiend heading himself back up to the high ground. So again, they throw a lot down there onto Black, but without the extra little bit of control and damage from the Echo Slam, they just don't seem to have enough mana, enough spells and capability to burst him down. Fisher will come out, Qualifier blinks forward, dagger onto the Earthshaker, and now Black going onto the racks. Throwing out the Impale, will catch out Trim. Nice Hoostomp now onto 2. Some defensive disruption from Paladai onto Black on the PL. Ramses just gets blown up in the fight. Requiem of Souls comes out, but it's not doing a lot of damage at all. Qualifier gets the ult onto 2. State 21 just dying to the PL illusions. He will go down, double kill for Black. And my goodness, now Centaur, he's got to run. He gets orchided up. He's able to force staff himself back. He will be able to get himself out of there. The Racks, though, they don't have a force staff of their own, so they're going nowhere, and fortification will be all they've got to try and keep themselves alive. There we go. Going down, Black finds himself the melee Racks and the ranged Racks. Stampede, they're trying to counter-initiate. They want to go back in. Quister pops the BKB. Hoostomp's going to be dodged here, and not going to catch anyone. Black with the regen from the heart. He's ready to go back in. Qualifier getting Ancient sealed up. Does get defensively disrupted. Will be fine to go back into this fight if they so wish. Look at Black. He's just going in there, clearing them up. State 21. He's going to go down here. Pause. We're going to pause. Okay.
Well, he DC, but it doesn't matter. He's dead.
It doesn't matter. No.
He was also walking back. It is called GG. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a Kappa leave.
Maybe a rage quit.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Shadow Fiend. I mean, to be fair, Scaryfacez, they last 30 minutes longer than they did in the first game. Yeah. So, I mean, it's an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between game number 1 and number 2 was like night and day in terms of what they were able to do. But they kind of pigeonholed themselves on what their draft could accomplish. They had to win at like 30, 35 minutes, feel confident in that, like somewhere around there. And their team composition was built solely for that. Like having a Treant to go late game is okay, and having like a Centaur core is also okay. But you're very reliant on your Shaker landing a big ulti, you know? Like every time they echoed Black, that's when they were able to kill him. And if he didn't get echoed, he wasn't going to die. So in the last engagement, they make one mistake, they just immediately lose racks. And because of the kind of pressure that Team Tinker can apply over the map, whereas they have this bots PL who's just going from lane to lane and he's just pushing out everything, even with an Aghanim's Treant, it wasn't enough to ever establish any kind of map dominance for them. So it just felt like the entire game, Team Tinker are just pushing the pace. They're the ones always in control. And, well, Scaryfacez, they put on their A game for game number 2, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, they really did. They gave it their best shot, but it indeed wasn't enough. 2-0, that series will go to the side of Team Tinkerino as they progress to the semi-finals, and they will be up against Basically Unknown, as that quarterfinal was already played, I believe, yesterday. So Basically Unknown versus Team Tinkerino. Now, that will be one to watch. Obviously, last week, Basically Unknown did manage to make themselves get all the way to the final, but they did lose out to Burden United. So we'll see how they stand up against Team Tinkerino. I believe that game will be tomorrow. The other game that we're going to be covering here today is Game Online versus Flipside, but that won't be starting for an hour and 15 minutes. Of course, we are going to go over to the panel first for a little bit of discussion about what we saw in this series and a little bit of the predictions coming up for the later games that we will be having today. There is another match going on at the moment, I believe, between Ease, Disciples, and Four Clovers and a Leprechaun. So I'm sure we'll have some more information on how that one's going on as well, and the panel will let you know what's going down in that situation also. But as for the time being, that is it from myself and Draskell, and we'll catch you guys back in about an hour's time for the second series of the day.